Now, this is my third testimony on what God has shown me. The third part. In February 2011, God revealed himself to me a third time as follows. It had a feeling of déjà vu. I was wandering around the globe in broad daylight. It seemed like just 1 hour past noon. And all of a sudden, the clouds spread out, displaying some giant posters of all kinds of animals on earth. All species were there, except for the snakes and the amphibians. After a couple of minutes, those posters gave way to some scriptures, just about 5 letters in Hebrew. Just like the ones I had seen in May 2010, they were golden letters, 75 meters high for about 50 meters wide. I could not read those scriptures, but I felt in my spirit as if they read Jesus in Hebrew. Soon afterwards, I heard, and with me the whole of humanity heard it at the same time. 6 trumpets being blown loudly in heaven, one after the other. Again, I did not hear the 7th trumpet. Only 6 of them did blow. At that time, my memory got pretty much erased. I had no recollection of having been born from a woman, who I would probably be calling my mother. I had no recollection of having had a father on earth or a wife. Yet, curiously enough, this time around, I knew I had children. I just said to myself, I can't believe it. So, the world had just come to an end so soon, just like that. My children have not even had time to grow. And I was hoping they would grow to become adults and get married, have children of their own, etc., etc. So the world had just come to an end when they are still young. And this was happening. And I was just, the only thing that calmed me was that I had the feeling that my children, since they were still small and innocent children, they would eventually escape from the judgment of God. And I could see at that time no children on earth. It was only adults. And this time around, people did remember to pray. Religion had not yet been forgotten, but only one religion was being practiced. Everyone were holding their hands up in the air, and they were praying to Jesus, imploring him, begging him to take them with them, and pleading with him for the salvation of their souls. They were not interceding on behalf of anyone else, but for themselves. I saw no one on earth performing no other forms of prayer, neither the Islamic prayers, nor the Buddhist prayers, or Sikhism prayers, or even Hinduism prayers. Everyone was praying as a Christian, begging one man, Jesus, to take them with them and not to leave them behind. I did not bother praying like them. I kept repeating to myself, I reckon Jesus Christ as my personal Savior, my personal Lord and Savior. And I kept walking up north. Suddenly, I saw a narrow way in front of me, straight as if it had been drawn with a ruler. It was just about 10 inches wide, like a thin tarmac that was going up to heaven. I walked on it without looking to my left or to my right or even looking back. Yet, I could see and I could hear everything around me and behind me. For in spirit, you can see 360 degrees around you. And your knowledge is also 360 degrees around you. You don't need to ask about things. You just know. And I could see and hear other people on earth praying fervently and begging Jesus not to leave them behind. They wanted to be raptured, and some were weeping while praying for their souls. At that time, at about 45 degrees to my right, I saw Jesus coming down on earth. He was sitting on a majestic throne, just like the majestic throne on which I had seen God sitting back in 1990. And his garment was whiter than snow, just like I had seen it back in 1990. And he was holding in his right hand a giant scepter, like a javelin. And he was wearing a great crown, exactly like the crown that I had seen on the head of God the Father in my 1990 dream. And he was descending with such a glory and with such power that the world has never seen before, since the beginning of time. And he was being driven by the clouds. That scene of Jesus coming back to earth was so mesmerizing that no one can possibly describe it in human vocabulary. I woke up with these apocalyptic images in my head, and I was distressed, and yet I was happy to have witnessed the return of Jesus, just like he has announced it himself in Mark 14 from verse 61, because Jesus said this, but Jesus remained silent and gave no answer. Again, the high priest asked him, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" And Jesus said, "I am," said Jesus. "And you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven." In Matthew 26, it is written from verse 63, "But Jesus remained silent. The high priest said to him, I charge you under oath by the living God, tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." "You have said so," Jesus replied. "But I say to all of you, from now on, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven." I just witnessed that in February 2011. And I had not written the Bible before that time. So I did not know that Jesus has announced all these things about 2,000 years earlier. So this was my third testimony about what God has shown me in the comfort of my own bed. Thank you for watching. Bye.